Welcome to today's video. What a day for Ethereum and the rest of the market, of course, but Ethereum specifically, because if we look at this chart, it's been doing amazing. It's trading at $3,779 at the time of this recording. It's almost going to hit the peak that we've seen back in March, which was at around $4,070. On KuCoin, the peak was actually $3,827. And this happened because of the potential ETF announcement. And now we're not 100% sure it's going to get approved or not, but because of speculation, you know, if you've been in crypto for a while, any kind of speculation will trigger a massive price move. And if we look at this CoinDesk article, and I know that many press releases were made with regards to this, but CoinDesk have a really interesting one and straight to the point. So CoinDesk reported that towards the close of the US business day on Monday, the Securities and Exchange Commission had made abrupt progress in the approval of an Ether ETF by asking exchanges to update the 19B4 filings for Ether ETF. Now, the SEC asking exchanges to update the 19B4 filings, which proposed rule changes, suggests potential progress towards spot Ether ETF approvals. Despite the progress with 19B4 filings, the SEC could still reject the S1 registration statement of the Ether ETF, delaying its approval and trading commencement. As a result of this significant development, the Ether implied volatility curve, which shows market expectations of future volatility across different strike prices and expirations, flattened as 25 delta risk reversals hit year-to-date highs above 18%, and traders heavily bought $4,000 calls for the 24th of May and 31st of May, Presto research analyst wrote. Now, if we look here, 4,000 is possible, of course, but I do think we're going to see a bit of a pullback. I just don't think it's going to continue to pump like crazy, because if there is a chance that the ETF is going to get rejected, then the dump is going to be massive, as you've seen, you know, with Bitcoin in the past. And it could also be a sell the news situation where there's a lot of speculation right now that this is going to get approved. And then even if it does get approved, we may see a big pullback before the next leg up, taking Ethereum possibly above $4,000. That's if we don't see $4,000 before we get the rejection or approval. We need to get that decision. Until we hear the decision, it's anyone's guess what could happen. It could keep pumping, who knows, for the rest of this week, but I do believe there's going to be a cool-off period. Like, nothing can go up in a straight line forever, and you know, even whales have a limit, because as you know, bots tend to trigger as soon as there's an announcement, and these bots usually follow certain X accounts and certain press releases, you know, especially Cointelegraph and CoinDesk. Like, as soon as there's an article posted, and those articles usually get posted because of X posts by important individuals, then the bots would usually trigger, and you won't even get a chance to be buying. Like, I placed a long trade on Ethereum last night. It was trading around 3,400 when I placed that long trade, and I set an exit around 3,600, and I got out, you know, and so I got out in profit. Now, it wasn't like a high leverage trade or anything, so unfortunately I didn't make like a huge bunch of it, but I thought that it's going to keep on going up because the announcement already triggered that uptrend. You know, the impact was already there, and not enough people had a chance to actually FOMO in, and people always FOMO into these things. So I thought, you know, there's definitely a chance we're going to keep on going up. I just didn't know how much higher. So we went up a bit higher than I expected to 3,776, in fact 3,800 on KuCoin. So yeah, 4,000 is possible. I'm not saying no. Of course, we're going to encounter some resistance there because that's where we last bounced down, right? That's when we started to drop, and we had that major pullback all the way down to below 3,100, and then even lower, like we went to 2,800, as you remember, when Bitcoin dumped. So, you know, just like in a number of days, we went close to 3,000. So it was a major pullback of over $1,000. So just to see the price move up so quickly because of this ETF announcement, when it took so long for it to get to this price before that, is amazing, right? Like, the performance is amazing. I am expecting a pullback. I don't know to what price. It could be the 3,500 range until we hear something from the ETF announcement, until we get a decision from that ETF announcement. But until we get a decision from the SEC, but it's, like I said, it's anyone's guess. I just don't think that we're going to keep on pumping. The probability is lower in my opinion, but it could still happen because anything is possible in crypto. It's always a gamble, and it just shows you that there's a big gamble when it comes to these news. And with the buy the rumor, sell the news impact, it's always been like that with crypto, right? They're buying the rumor, there's a 50% chance, maybe an even 70% chance. Like some press releases are saying that there's a 70% chance of the ETF getting approved, and others are saying around 50% chance. So we don't know yet. It could be that the SEC will approve it. It's weird because they did consider it a security. So to see this get approved is interesting, and there's definitely a lot of money on the line. There are a lot of whales impacting this as well, I think, and there's a lot of pressure being put on the SEC. Now, to move on and just quickly talk about Near protocol. Now, Near has been on an uptrend ever since the bull market started. Okay, and then back in March, as you can see, it had that massive pop to $8.80 from the lows of $3.40, and we're still on that uptrend. We had a few pullbacks. Unfortunately, I did not buy in on this last pullback where I had an opportunity to buy in, but I am waiting for that next pullback opportunity to get into Near protocol. Although SWI also offers a great opportunity, given that SWI has not been performing that well, to be fair. But I am concerned because if the market will be somewhat pulling back after this pump, this hype that we're seeing with the ETF, if the ETF was to get rejected and the market is going to pull back, I am afraid that SWI is going to face an under $1 situation because it's trading at around $1.13 right now, and I just don't want to see it under $1 and me buying it at like $1.15 because the percentage drop is going to be quite big, right? Depending on how low the market is going to drop if the ETF gets rejected. And the same with Near protocol. So I'm just being patient with this. If the ETF is approved, of course, Ethereum is going to do pretty well, but there's going to be a cool-off period for sure. Nothing can keep on going up infinitely, right? There's definitely some sort of cool-off period, as we've seen time and time again. Even with the Bitcoin ETF, we had it, right? Even though there was a lot of hype on day one. So yeah, I'm waiting for it to touch maybe the 50-day moving average here around, probably around 670, maybe even 680. I think that's where we might see it touch it again, because as you can see, it's taken a while for these candles on the 1-day chart to go as low as the 50-day moving average. They do touch the 25-day moving average quite often, so we could be seeing that getting touched around 730 perhaps. But I'm personally just waiting for it to touch this area here. Once it touches this and it moves back up, I'm getting in and I'm waiting and hodling because it is on the uptrend on the larger time scale, and it's pretty obvious that Near protocol is doing something amazing that's bringing a lot of attention towards it, and it brings buyers. They likely have good market makers as well that are helping propel the price further up. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I'll keep you up to date with the airdrops, with the market conditions and all that in the coming days as soon as we get some news. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.